Brand new as well, so we have a really nice mix of things. But this is a really cute earring, and it's featuring your choice of Labradorite and Herkimer, or genuine pearl and Herkimer. They're $29.98. I love that stiletto, that linear drop. It has a French wire that slips right through your pierced ear, and the pearl is most limited here. But again, these are backed by popular demand. I mean, we're calling them brand new. We've kind of done a similar
little tweaking on it.
Little tweaking, exactly.
A little different cut Herkimer on the bottom.
There you go.
And you know, the Herkimers truly accentuate the qualities of another stone. It highlights, it intensifies, it elevates the secondary color. The pearl and the Labradorite were looked at very carefully because of not just the intensity of their colors and the neutrality of the pearl, but also the fact that what it brings to the table with the Herkimer. You know, the pearl, when you wear it, it really symbolizes one's generosity and one's loyalty. And the Labradorite, when you're wearing it, really imparts strength.
Beautiful.
And if you're going through some change, prospectors, in your life, that really gives you the strength. So when you add the value of those stones to the Herkimer, which gives you a lot of feelings of great wellness and balance and energy.
They're so pretty. You know what I was thinking? Wouldn't this be great for a bride too? Or bridesmaids. If you're looking for bridesmaid gifts, because that is the #1 choice for a bride to wear is a pearl with her diamonds. So this is Herkimer diamonds and pearls. And it would work really well as a gift if you're looking for gifts because they're light. They're very modern because that's that stiletto drop. So you're seeing a lot of the linear drop earring styles out there. And so this is our Herkimer version of that. And you have the faceted Herkimers dropping at the bottom for that little bit of extra sparkle. They're so pretty. We have a couple hundred in each choice, the pearl and the genuine Herkimer and the Labradorite with the genuine Herkimer. And these would work back to other things you might have. I think that's what I love about my Herkimer collection. It all plays well. It all mixes and matches, doesn't it?
We've been on now for close to 10 years.
Right.
And I don't think there's a SKU or a particular line of jewelry that we've created where you can't mix and match it. But these are 2 inches. So it's not one of those shoulder duster earrings, but it's just a perfect length. You can actually wear them during the day too. It's not just an evening earring.
Oh, for sure.
It's a day as well. So, enjoy those. That's a great price too for a giftable item.
And you guys, 2 minutes to sell out. We have a couple hundred left. That's it. We do not have thousands of these whatsoever. So it's just back in stock. We're calling it brand new because it does have a little tweak to it, but you can see how great they look. So if you're new to Herkimer, you know, as you said, we've been doing Herkimer for a decade. Originally, many of you know Deb Guillot is one of the many designers who works with Dr. Renee. Dr. Renee has over 32 designers that she works with around the world. A lot of you are familiar with Meghan Markle, who is a big fan of Herkimer, and she buys her Herkimer from a London-based designer that buys Herkimer from Dr. Renee. So she works with a myriad of designers. And of course, Deb Guillot is our friend and one of your designers. So she's now has moved on to her Deb Guillot Studio collection. And we asked Dr. Renee if she would please come on and be the special guest for this collection, because really who better to share the passion and the history and all the amazing information about these stones than the woman who for 40 years, you and your family have owned the mines.
40 years, a 40-year anniversary, 1979 to now. The interesting thing, prospectors, is that we're not just bringing in experienced jewelry designers. As a female mine owner, I also take great joy in bringing in someone more youthful, someone new, someone inexperienced, and give them the opportunity to take a look at Mother Nature's bounty and something unusual, something already faceted by Mother Nature, and giving her or him the opportunity to design something around it. So we are expanding our designer base, and it's a joy to bring some of them to you.
And it probably is exciting to see, depending on who you're working with, because everybody brings their own, you know, sort of aesthetic and sensibility to how to wear these stones. Because there's nothing more fun. I'm telling you, if you don't have Herkimers yet, you're gonna fall in love with these stones. They're fun to collect, they're amazing to wear, and they're always a great conversation piece. If you Google Herkimer diamonds, just Google them, the legend and lore attached, the metaphysical attributes attached to these stones are unlike any stone in the world. There's no other stone in the world that has quite the same attributes that Herkimer does. It's a very special and unique type of crystal, that is for sure. Thank you for the orders on that earring. Now, one earring I have to show you. Okay, I have 2 sets of these. These make fabulous gifts. Are you ready?
Well, I have 4 sets of yours, so.